like, subscribe, support the show, patreon.com/HalSparks. And I mean, how many times do I have to ask you? What fuck? Just click the like of the thing and write something and do. That's not too much to ask, is it? It's fun. Everybody asks you to, and I recognize that. But at the very least, I think you should be able to, just do it. Just try to maybe throw that together. Just give that a shot. What do you think? So before we jump into this next one, I want to remind everybody to do that because I keep forgetting to, and I'm going to try to do better. Okay, so this is Hannity, and Hannity had, thank you so much, Sultan, had a lot of hope for this Devin Archer footage, or testimony. He was very excited, very excited. It's a good bit, and that's understandable because he's not bright.
I agree. I'm a dope.
Yeah, see, even Sean Hannity agrees that he's stupid.
Really. I agree. I'm a dope.
Yeah, and some people will walk up to him and go, "You're a moron," and it's like a tick. He just answers.
I agree. I'm a dope.
It's funny, but yeah, it's like a broken clock thing. He says that twice a day. All right, so so here we go. And I love you guys too. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Hunter's styling in the plaid suit. There you go. So this is it's a Fox News alert. It's a alert.
Fox News alert, a live look at Capitol Hill where Hunter Biden's ex-business partner, Devin Archer, is set to meet with House lawmakers in just a couple.
Oh, so exciting. Were they ever so young? Oh my God. And moments before that, it was like the world was their Tim Apple.
We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
It was like the love and a pathway towards greatness and hope laid out before them. The grass was green, the sky was blue, the clouds were fluffy and didn't give you turbulence. And there was just nothing ahead of them except joy and acceptance and hope and then to have it dashed so wantonly by the guy they were counting on. I all men are the same.
Couple of hours.
Hunter's former pal is expected to divulge Joe Biden's involvement with Hunter's business deals. And
spoiler alert, he doesn't.
Now, and how the disgraced first son would reportedly impress his foreign clients by putting his daddy on the telephone.
Sean Hannity joins us live to talk about it this morning. Sean, what do you expect? Is he going to just spill the beans on the Biden family
or are you really giving me the opportunity to use that yellow as a green screen to put something behind you? I'm not going to do it. I don't have time.
According to this email, it was years ago, they seem very, very close. They're telling each other how much they love each other.
Yeah, that's gay. Men saying they love you, that's always suspect. I don't trust that.
You're talking about Devin Archer's testimony?
Archer. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. This is going to be a deposition. It's going to be behind closed doors. Tonight on Hannity, we will have James Comer on. Hopefully we'll get some insight into what happens.
Oh, yeah. You know what Comer's going to come on and tell you? I don't want to give it away, but he's going to come on and tell you there's still a lot that they're looking into, and they found a witness that is going to give them the big thing that's right around the corner. And, they learned a lot from this, and it's set them in a couple of directions that they think if they can get a hold of the paperwork, there will be something along those lines.
We expect the transcript to be released, if not today, within 3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days. I agree.
I agree. I'm a dope. Interesting twist, though, over the weekend, and it has riled a lot of Republicans on the Hill, and that is that the DOJ was trying to get...
Oh, they were already talking about it, stupid. It's a lie. That didn't happen. The dude's getting sentenced for bilking a Native American tribe out of $40 million. He was part of this scheme. He's getting 1 year and 5 days, I think, for being a lesser partner in selling fake bonds to people, because they thought by the time they looked up, they'd made a bunch of money. It's crypto idiocy. He's fucked. But, and Biden's not going to pardon him. He hasn't promised him one. There's no, all during the time that Trump is, talking like is selling pardons to people on his way out the door because it's the last opportunity he has to make money off the presidency. We find out that this guy, the charges against him were dropped or set aside in 2018 because they thought at some point maybe they'd be able to leverage him for later, and then he didn't play ball, so they just re-indicted him in October of 2020 as another October surprise. They just timed it out literally. So like, Hunter Biden's business partner has just been indicted. Like it's so fucking ham-handed.
Devin Archer, remember in a previous case that he was sentenced to a year in prison, they tried to get him to report to prison. Many in Congress are saying, wait a minute, this is to...
No, they didn't. You can't get someone to, quote, report to prison unless you have a sentencing hearing. People have to be sentenced before they're sent to prison. It might be news to this dipshit, but it's true.
Obstruct a congressional investigation.
Hold on. I can't not do this, and I hope you guys can forgive me, but there's just no way. Let's see. I'm going to go over here. I need a... See, would it be in some pictures, something like that? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I'll do this. Yeah, this will work. Put this in here. Whoops. Get over here. There it goes. And then, hold on, give me one moment. I'm just going to try and do a little bit of homework, if I may. Take this out. Yeah, that'll work. And let's see, let me put this in, and got to move this down here. And they always try to, they want me to do this, but that's what they do. So hold on, let's close this. Then we go into here, and we check this, go to filters, and then I go to what? I need a color key. That's what I need. Okay, and then I'm going to choose the custom color, and then I'm going to select that color, and then I'm going to use I'm going to go to yellow, something like that. What's this? That's a bright yellow. I think it's a pretty bright, something like that. Okay, that'll work. And let's see, does that work? Let's see, raise the similarity to it. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, there we go. And then we close that, and then we take this guy and we move this around, and then I gotta shrink it down a little bit. And I'll do this. There we go. This is better. Okay. Now, sorry, you were saying. Hi. Yeah.
And they want an investigation into why it is they tried to stop his appearance today. He had been scheduled 3 prior times, so that's going to be fascinating to watch. Now, anybody that's been watching Fox knows that Miranda Devine has had some phenomenal testimony as it relates to what we expect to hear from Devin Archer.
Miranda Devine is not testifying anywhere. She's had no testimony. She just talks to you, asshole. Testimony happens under oath.
Remember, Joe Biden, as a candidate, repeatedly said, I never once talked to my son about his foreign business dealings. I never talked to my brother. I never talked to anybody, for that matter. A big deal has been made over the fact that that lie has now been exposed in a variety of ways. And so what's fascinating about it is now the White House is saying, well, I've never been in business with my son, Hunter. Well, either you talked to him about it or you didn't talk to him about it, and to try and change it, I've never been in business. Devin Archer, we expect, according to Miranda, would testify today, and John Solomon confirms this, that, in fact, Joe Biden...
Again, no, they didn't. This is not what it turned out at all. This is not how it turned out at all. This is not anywhere near what was actually said.
Would call into these meetings. Hunter would put his father on speaker, and it would be Hunter, Devin, foreign business partners. Joe would kind of come in as the closer and say, see, you have access to Dad. Here's the big question. And
yeah, except that's not at all what happened.
And Steve, I watched Steve's interview with James Comer. Steve, one thing we now know for a fact, we have a timeline on on the addiction of Hunter Biden. It was from 2003 to 2019. Okay,
Right.
so at the time, he was an active crack addict when most of these business deals were going on.
Yeah, he did work out a lot. I think he went to the gym and that kind of stuff. Of all the crack addicts that I've seen, he seems to have had the most meat on his bones. Of most of the crack addicts that I think I've seen. Yeah, I think that it apply. I don't know. You might have to ask the guys behind you.
I have no doubt that China, Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Romania, Mexico, and a dozen countries knew that.
Right. It didn't do them any good.
So the question is, why was Burisma willing to pay Hunter, who went on Good Morning America and admitted he had no experience in energy, oil, gas, coal, or Ukraine, millions of dollars for something he had no experience in? We get some insight in that 1023 form. It all begins to come together now.
Because
that's the FBI informant.
The FBI informant, who's Rudy Giuliani, was trying to snipe a deal out from under Hunter Biden, who was trying to make a legit business out of Burisma, and that's exactly what fucking happened. Now, I know what you're thinking. Like, there are just some people that when you're working with them, you're after a while, you're like, you know what? I might have been naive in the beginning and just kind of looked the other way at some of the things they do, but that can only go on for so long, and I'm not comfortable with it anymore. And you kind of change, like maybe I shouldn't use his attorney as my fixer. And I'm just spitballing here, considering who he hangs out with and the fact that that guy is engaged in child sex trafficking. I'm starting to rethink this. And then in some cases, you just go, nah.
I agree. I'm a dope.
Okay.
That quotes the CEO of Burisma saying that he thinks Hunter is dumb, that he didn't want to do anything with Hunter.
Hey, so let me get this straight. The guy who calls Hunter Biden dumb, where's that guy right now? Was that guy on the up and up? Was he a decent, upstanding businessman? Is there a reason? Trump thinks that people that play by the rules are dumb. It sounds like Zlochevsky and Trump have a lot in common.
But he needed the protection that his father would provide them, meaning Joe, then vice president. Joe then goes to Ukraine, leverages $1 billion to get a Ukrainian prosecutor fired.
No, there's a problem with that theory. It falls apart fairly quickly. By the way, whatever you do, don't look over your left shoulder, Sean. I'm just saying. There's a big problem. It's a 2-word problem, and maybe you can answer it for me. Call him. Just go watch the video of Joe Biden speaking at the Council on Foreign Relations in front of a packed house of people who are interested in foreign policy. And you've probably seen some of it. So I would fast forward straight to the part where Biden uses the words "call him." Just I feel like it'll be very illuminating.
Who is investigating Burisma and Hunter Biden. Hunter continues to get paid, thus the Biden bribery family allegations. In my
no. Thus the bribery family, the Biden bribery family allegations are simply there because you want them to be there, not that this was the cause of it. As a matter of fact, in any normal world, if we're not living in the upside down, this would be indicative of actually someone not taking a bribe.
Mind, this now is one of the single biggest allegations of any president in the history of this country.
And yeah, that's the part, isn't it, Sean? That's the tough one of the biggest allegations in the history of any presidency, any person who was president. The allegations brought up, and it's interesting that you bring them up like you do. Hey, can you tell those guys behind you to settle down? I'm trying to make a point. So allegations, you're saying. So case, no. Evidence, no. greatest evidence? No. Biggest allegations? Sure. And I think they get bigger the more ridiculous they are, and that might be indicative of how weak the actual case is. Meanwhile, will you tell those guys behind you to just simmer down? Where are you? Are you on an airplane, Sean? Are you flying somewhere? I mean, it looks like a kind of a small plane. I'm just saying, the whole thing's first class, I guess. That's very impressive.
While everybody on the left could be paying attention all they want to the charges against Donald Trump, and they just keep piling on charges like they did late last week.
Yes, they're just piling on charges with stuff that he admits to doing on tape that he didn't have to do. New shit. This is, by the way, these allegations that they're making against Hunter Biden is stuff from the Obama presidency, is the theory that this happened in 2014 or 2009 or whatever. Which is, I mean, again, all bullshit. The stuff Trump is getting hit with happened last year. It's happening now. He's literally lying about the criminal charges now.
This is going to be a massive issue.
No, I mean, you're going to try and make it one, but it's not actually going to be one.
For the November 2024 election. It might.
Only if Hunter's the candidate, which I got to say, I don't know that I'm comfortable voting for him. In terms of, let's see, yeah. I don't know if that's the case. Let me see if I can. Nah, it won't work. I just had an idea, and if I try it, it's going to crash my entire system. I'll build it for later.
Might be the cause that Democrats throw him off the ticket, in my view.
Yeah, you're an idiot. No, if this would be a reason for Democrats to even consider kicking Joe Biden off the ticket, then Republicans have no excuse whatsoever for not dumping Trump a year ago. Because there's he's on tape. He has co-defendants. He's bragged about it. In an interview, he admitted the fucking crime.
On that last.
Oh, by the way, yes, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Who else is going to bring on a cast of characters like this for you? Just saying.
Last topic you brought up there about what they're doing with President Trump. Seems like they're handling it very differently. We're up to 41 charges, I think, now, President Trump. The last
and they're going light on him.
3 come in this group of bringing in a couple of staffers and saying, oh, President Trump ordered you to do this, ordered you to do that. You better spill the beans. We've got a former property man. Yeah,
that's how Joey, you have just described how the mafia works. Now, these next thing they got against, John Gotti is that he calls a couple of guys in and says he wants to hear loud noises outside a guy's car and said that we're supposed to,
Manager at Mar-a-Lago, and he's going to appear before a Miami.
I'm mad because I have no one to jerk off.
Miami judge this morning.
Alone, all the lonely jerkers. Where do they are?
And he's in this in classified documents.
I'm sad. I just love it. This is a picture they picked.
Case against Trump, and it seems to be the experts that we've had come on are saying they're trying to use this to pressure people to turn on President Trump.
Which wouldn't be a problem if there wasn't actually shit to turn on him for. By the way, what the fuck do you think they're trying to do with Devin Archer? What are they trying to do with the other? What do you think the Republicans are trying to do with witnesses they're bringing in? They're just failing. The only reason these guys are pissed is because it's working. Because they're like, oh yeah, it was a crime. Oh sure, yep, yeah, I got text messages. He texted, he used my phone to text this guy, and then we went and had a meeting, and he'll tell you. We sat down there, and the boss told us to, that's why. Then we talked to the pool guy about flooding the server room. That didn't work, but we tried. I mean, yeah. Oh, the secret documents? Yeah. He'd written all over the top of the boxes. Which ones that he thought, he put dollar signs on the top on any ones he thought he could sell to the Saudis and shit like that. That's why I made me get a bunch of new box tops. So, they're like, Are you being pressured into this? Oh, fuck yeah. If you didn't pressure me, I'd keep my fucking trap shut. Yeah, because I'm going to go to jail too because I helped him commit a crime. But I didn't. I'm not making up the crime part. I think that's the part you're running. That's the issue, I think, more than anything else.
President Trump, of course, responded and said, "This is fiction. This did not happen. I never ordered."
That's a weird thing. Is it? You know, it might be a better argument if it wasn't his only argument.
That. Where do you think this goes?
You know what's fascinating about that story is both President Trump and his attorney over the weekend said, I don't know what they're talking about. No tapes were erased. And
yeah. All right, dummy. I don't know what they're charging me with attempted murder for. I wasn't able to kill the person. They're still alive, aren't they? Look, is the money still in the bank? Yes, it is. What's the problem here? Just because I come in with a shotgun, wearing a ski mask, trip over my own shoes, the gun goes off, slides across the floor, hits me right in the nuts, and I'm crying when the cops show up. Is that really a robbery? Can you even call that a robbery? I mean, come on.
That everything that was subpoenaed was handed over.
Yeah, because they couldn't get rid of it, because the guy they asked to erase it said no. The getaway driver just sat there and parked going, the fuck, I'm not going to speed. There's a cop right there. Are you stupid?
I agree. I'm a dope.
That's not an excuse. That doesn't work at all. Why in the world does he? All right.
So either.
By the way, he's repeating what Alina Habahaba said.
It was or it wasn't.
Yeah.
Now, if he ordered tapes deleted and they weren't deleted and they still got handed over, I don't know. You tell me what's worse. Is it that they got the tapes or 33,000 subpoenaed emails of Hillary?
They also got. God damn it! We have to. Mm. Okay, how many? Yeah, here you go. So, if I may. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Here you go. Clinton's office disclosed in March of 2015 that her private server had a total of 62,320 emails. It said at the time that her lawyers went through the emails and identified 30,490 work-related emails and 31,830 private emails. In December of 2014, about 21 months after she left office, Clinton gave the State Department the 30,490 work-related emails, totaling roughly 55,000 pages. She indicated that she deleted the others. I don't see any reason to keep them. She said March 10th, 2015 press conference. However, Comey said Clinton had multiple servers during her 4 years as Secretary of State, and not all of her work-related emails were turned over to the State Department. The FBI recovered several thousand work-related emails that were not provided to the State Department, and he said it was possible they included some of the emails deleted as personal by her lawyer when they reviewed and sorted her emails for production in late 2014. Were any work-related emails intentionally deleted? There is no evidence to date that work-related emails were intentionally deleted. In all, the FBI recovered about 14,900 emails that were not part of the 30,000 work-related emails that Clinton turned over to the State Department in December 2014. But we don't know yet how many of them were work-related. The State Department, which is under court order to release the emails recovered by the FBI, there's articles, now you can read all of them, so apparently the classification of them is very low, if at all. On September 7th, government officials disclosed that 30 of the emails were related to Benghazi, but only one had previously undisclosed and two others were near duplicates of emails that had already been publicly released. Comey said the FBI found no evidence that any of the additional work-related emails were intentionally deleted in an effort to conceal them in some sort of way. In his July 5th press conference, Comey said that, like many email users, Secretary Clinton periodically deleted emails or emails that were purged from the system when devices were changed. When did Clinton delete her 31,830 private emails? The FBI on September 2nd released a two-part summary of its investigation of Clinton that said the former Secretary of State's emails were deleted sometime between March 25th and 31st, 2015. That was about 3 weeks after the House Select Committee on Benghazi served Clinton with a subpoena on March 4th, 2015, to produce any emails related to its investigation into the deaths of 4 Americans. That's the subpoena. To produce any emails related to its investigation into the deaths of 4 Americans in Benghazi in 2012. Initially, the campaign told us that the deletions occurred sometime between December 2014 and March 4th, 2015, but did not provide a date. Clinton campaign spokesperson Josh Schwerin later told us that Clinton and her attorneys had no knowledge of the email deletions in March 2015 until the FBI released its report on September 2nd. That's what the FBI report said. Oh, sorry. Here's what the FBI report said. By December 2014, Clinton's lawyers had completed their review of her emails, sent her work-related emails to the State Department. At that time, a Clinton lawyer told Platte River Networks, which was maintaining Clinton's private server, that the former secretary no longer needed any emails that were more than 60 days old, and instructed an unnamed PRN employee to modify the email retention policy to reflect this change. The PRN employee told the FBI that sometime because she's no longer in public service. Sometime between March 25th, 31st, 2015, he realized that he did not make the change requested by Clinton's office, and he deleted her old emails at that time. When did the FBI begin its investigation? Okay, did Clinton's emails contain classified? Okay, yes. More than 2,000 of the 30,490 emails Clinton turned over to the State Department in December of 2014 contained classified information, including 110 emails and 52 email chains that contain classified information that at the time were sent or received, Comey said. The FBI director said a very small number of the emails containing classified information bore markings indicating the presence of classified information, contrary to Clinton's claim that none were marked as classified. And that's the idea, is that the emails themselves weren't classified, but they contained stuff, and that was splitting hairs. Although we did not find clear evidence that Secretary Clinton or her colleagues intended to violate laws governing the handling of classified information, which, by the way, is the entire case against Donald Trump, because he intended to hide this shit. There is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. That's it. Carelessness. And by the way, you're not careless. You're my lovely audience, and I appreciate you, and I think you're wonderful. I just wanted to say that before I go back to the other screen, but while we were here. Yes. Meanwhile, she got more shit around that stuff than Cheney got about torture. Just for the record. Okay, now back to Idiot Central. Hold on one second.
I agree. I'm a dope.
Okay, here we go.
Hillary Clinton that, in fact, were deleted. They're not washed with a cloth, but washed out with something we never had heard of before called BleachBit.
BleachBit is its service, fuckhead. Again, we talked about this, I talked about this to my cousin while I was in Kentucky, or we were in Ohio. And anybody in the chat room, and I'll ask you guys, because you guys are nerdy like me a little bit, some even maybe more so, who's to say? Anybody remember DOD wipe that used to be available? And it sounds like a toilet paper that kills you and hides the body. But ever remember when you could start using like a thing called a level of erasing a hard drive called DOD wipe? Anybody remember that? It was back when you had to like defrag your hard drive and stuff like that. Yeah, still have floppies with DOD wipe somewhere. There you go. Yeah, it's a 7-pass. So what it would do, for those that don't know, is that what people realized was, at one point, that when you erase a hard drive, everything is still on it. It just erases largely the catalog for that area of the disk and says, don't write over this. Yeah, it kills the root. That's all it does. And so new files come in and they write over top of it. And what happens is if you got a shitty drive or it's old or you've used it a lot, it will rewrite over places, and there'll be some errant zeros and ones in there that were printed on the disk itself that can kind of screw up your files. And back in the day when the every bit counted on every hard drive you had, you would defrag them so it would move like all the video pieces together and all the audio files together and all the text files together. It would organize it so that it would move the video files towards the center of the spinning physical disk, and the text stuff could be on the outside because you could make more mistakes. It could verify it slower on the outside of a spinning disk because the inside, can spin faster is effectively the idea. You could spin it up as you go in. Anyways, so point being is if you wanted to get rid of stuff, it wasn't just enough to erase the drive, because if you do, everything's still there. Everything. If you, like I erased my drive and you throw it out, anybody who wants to can hook it up and read everything that's on it, because it's just the organizing file. It's like setting fire to the Dewey Decimal System drawers at the library and thinking you've burned the library down. Is it harder to go find the book you're looking for? Sure. But the segments are still there and they're pretty much organized and you can find stuff. So it's super easy. So I know I'm nerding out, but I earned my nerd hail and bona fides. But the DoD wipe that you would have would erase the drive, which would mean it would erase the catalog or the directory. And then it would write over top of the disk a bunch of ones and a bunch of zeros and a bunch of ones and a bunch of zeros, and then a 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 back and forth, and then a 0 0 1 0 1 0 1 back and forth like that, and then it would go back to like all zeros. And after at one point it was 4 layers, and then it was 7 layers, and that's if any run of the mill computer guy, hacker, nerd person like myself got a hold of that drive, you wouldn't be able to get the shit that was originally on it. It was a 7-level wipe of it. Right, exactly. So it was all basically, it was like they'd taken a record and just scratched it so much with, instead of just running you can ruin a record by scratching right across it. It won't play right. But you could arguably go and just line by line fix each groove, just sand it a little bit, and it would play right through. The needle will keep going. But if you took a piece of sandpaper to the whole fucking thing and literally smoothed it back down to the vinyl flat where there's no grooves on it, record gone. That's the idea. Okay. So, boot and nuke, right? DoD was 35 wipe, right? It would write over top of it. So, and the standard grew and grew and grew. It started at 4, then it went to 7, 35. The point is that they would raise the number, and then somebody would figure out how to still get the stuff that was on it. After it'd been rewritten dozens of times, you could still find some of the shit that was underneath it. And when you get to a government level where they're talking about classified stuff, they were like, fuck it, we have to obliterate this shit. And it doesn't leave your presence until it is effectively because you could burn it, it would warp, you could unwarp it, and it would still be there. That was the concern, because this is laser written, it's laser etched in there. So the bleach bit thing was just like a total obliteration of every pocket of zeros or ones in any order on the thing. And that's how all government agencies nowadays that have any clearance issues at all, even the Department of Transportation does this at the higher levels, because they don't want people seeing the decision-making process and being able to game the system if they want a contract, for example. So they want to wipe all this stuff out. So they destroy the drives and everything. Okay. Most upper-level corporations that make a lot of money or deal with a lot of money or deal with, a mixture of like proprietary secrets and shit like that, they do the same thing. So a private security firm, which I know Hillary Clinton had for her campaign and had for everyone, is going to go, what are we doing? We're getting rid of all this stuff? You got it. Okay, so this is the machine. Gount. Remember how CD cleaners would leave all the scrubby white marks after many cleanings? Video rentals were covered with them. Yes, exactly. You know what kills the process, though? I don't know. I don't need to defrag anymore. No, you don't really, because it automatically does it later on. But the point is, that private company is going to farm out. It's like those companies that show up with shredders anytime a company is in trouble. Yes, plus SSDs are a totally different thing. Solid states, yeah, you don't have to defrag them. It doesn't matter because they're always reshuffling it. Won't format do the same thing? No, it will not. Formatting it will just change the instruction set on how files are organized. Anyways, point being is that, especially at that time, now it's different. SSDs, solid state drives are a totally different thing. You don't defragment any of that stuff. And when you erase them, they stay erased because and those things you kind of have to, you just destroy them. We're talking about platter drives, which is more than likely what these had. Of course, they put them through the bleach bit process because they're not stupid. If there's even one classified document that you're concerned that might be in there and you don't want to go through 66,000 emails combing through every fucking thing and going, does this qualify or does it not qualify? And while we're at it, does anybody really need our plans from last year because we might repeat them coming out or whatever? So we're going to go, on a vacation. We like this one vacation place and we don't let people know that that's where we go vacation because we can get killed because my husband is a former president. All that shit. Or you talk about what the security around your husband is, which is classified, and your own security, which is also classified. But that's just your life because he's the former president. You're the Secretary of State. Like, there's a dozen things in your normal life that are just always kind of classified at some level. So when you're done with that stuff, you're going to burn everything till there's absolutely fucking nothing left. So that's where that is. Yes, Futurepedia stuff on Friday. This is old stuff, quite frankly. So, anyways, hold on. Like, subscribe. Thank you. You're wonderful. Okay, back to these morons.
I agree. I'm a dope.
Okay.
And devices that might have had copies of those messages destroyed with hammers, beaten up BlackBerries, beaten up iPhones.
Yep.
Right. You know why? Because the motherboards of these devices can temporarily store information outside of the storage itself. Once you turn it off, there's still some remnant information left in sort of the internal RAM that's written into the board itself, which can also be stolen because holy fuck, what security forces over the world all over the world have figured out how to do is insane. First of all, they can read what's on your computer through your electrical plugs. So let's just start there. So you need the battery backups that Hillary Clinton used on her server, for example, have interrupters in them that don't allow that kind of intrusion to be made. And they're not hooked up to the internet via Wi-Fi. It's a hard wire with a firewall. And he's like, nobody's even heard of this crazy, crazy stuff. Bullshit. Sean Hannity's home email and all that kind of stuff, or Fox News has their own server. They use the same thing. If they want to know about this shit, they can walk up to the Fox News IT department and go, hey, all that information, the private information you keep on all the hosts in case you need to find us because there's breaking news and all that shit. Where's that stored? Oh, it's over here in our private server. Really? How do you keep people from getting into that? Because we use the same system Hillary Clinton used because nobody was ever able to break into hers. Really? Yeah, really. Fucking idiots. And somebody, Mr. Bojangles, thank you. Turned 74 years old today. It was definitely strange. P.S. South Sparks, I always felt it from the start. The Georgia election call from Trump is what will be the nail in his coffin. You're not wrong. But the documents case is the one that's going to drive more supporters away from him. So the election call, he will always be able to plead stupid and have plausible deniability.
The SIM cards removed, etc. So,
right.
If we're going to compare
and destroyed, they removed the SIM cards and they destroyed them. Meanwhile, Donald Trump took cardboard boxes filled with classified documents and put them on a stage in Pine Hall at Mar-a-Lago, a property he rents out to fucking strangers, including foreigners who during his presidency purchased memberships just so they could be around the president because they knew he would yammer about national secrets in the fucking cafeteria in the dining room. And then he moves them, after he's told to lock the stuff up, he moves them into the shitter and then puts a lock on the door, a padlock. Can I show you guys something? This is pretty cool. I'll show you something. If I may. Okay. See this padlock? I like this padlock. This is my favorite padlock. This is my padlock. See this? Okay. The reason I like this padlock is because this padlock is a fingerprint padlock. Wasn't that expensive. It's pretty cool. Works very well. Hold on, I'm gonna hold the. Oh yeah, I think you have to shut it for. Oh, my finger's messy. Anyways, it worked once. You'll see. So, point being. I'm resetting my finger. Point being is that this padlock itself. Yeah, there you go. Just popped it again. It has to reset. It has to close for a certain amount of time or something. But anyways, this thing's pretty high tech. But I can get into this thing even if my fingerprint's not on it, because I can find a hammer. And if there's a party going on with a DJ, no one will hear me. Now you're thinking, how can you guarantee there will be a party going on with a DJ? Well, it helps when there's a party going on with a DJ 4 fucking days a week. Here's the other thing. I can make the party happen. I can literally, in this particular analogy, I could rent out Mar-a-Lago just by finding find a member that'll sponsor me, get a bunch of people there. I don't even have to do this part myself, but I can throw a party there, and then have them, on a day especially that I know that Trump's not there, so his security detail will be gone. And then, drinks all around for everybody who works there, have a great time, whatever. And then at some point walk down there with a fucking hammer that somebody else has left for me. And that they threw through the goddamn bushes where Walt Nada met with De Oliveira. And do it on the beat. There you go, I'm in. And then just close the door behind me, close the door behind me, root around inside, find all that I want. Shit, if I can leave my fingerprints everywhere. You know why? Because if my fingerprints are found in that place, Trump's in more trouble than I am. He'll clean up after the crime. If they come in, they go, holy fuck, there's a guy got in here and knocked the fucking lock off and he just walked away. Shit, get some, scrub this place down. You want to talk about fucking bleach bit?
In contrast, one of the questions now that Americans, for the first time, a majority do not believe that we have equal justice and equal application of our
because Donald Trump would be in jail right now if we did.
Laws in this country. That is a sad day for this country.
Yeah, because you guys do nothing but attack the FBI all fucking day long. And also, this goes to like the ACA. This is like the ACA argument. That 56% of Americans don't like the ACA back when it started. Yeah, because 28 of them, 28%, never want anything like it, ever, anything even close, and they don't like it. Even if they use it, they are on Medicare and Medicaid, but they don't like government health care. They'll never, ever. They hate it. They hate Obama. They hate that he had Obamacare, and they hate the concept of caring for other people. They're disgusted by it. Tui. And then the other 28% that make up that group, the 26% that don't like it, hate it because it should have been universal health care that was free and no copay and 100% single payer from the government and not and free to all citizens, period, end of story, and anything short of it is murder. That's not the same thing. Those two groups of people could not be more politically different. But both of them, if you ask them, do they like the ACA, will tell you no. And just as angrily.
Because that would mean that the predicate for every law that we have, our Constitution, is just being washed away and shredded.
It's weird. I think your best chance is just, Sean, is just to bug out. Find somebody you know who, I don't know, who owns a private plane or used to, and pack some shit and go. I will cover for you. Just hit it.
If Hillary Clinton is treated one way and
she wasn't.
Her Chappaqua home was not raided. The 4 Biden locations for top secret classified documents that they found were not raided.
They didn't have to be raided. He went like Biden didn't make them raid the place. He said, "Come on in. Look to your heart's content. After you. No delays, no fucking nothing." The day they asked, he's like, "Yep, send him over there." Mm-hmm. Yeah. Weird. There just seems, but the guy, here's the thing. There seems to be a 2-tiered sense of justice in Sean Hannity's fucking numbskull.
I agree. I'm a dope.
On the one hand, he thinks that Biden, who willingly allowed the FBI to look at all those sites and gather all their stuff together without interfering at all, should have been, quote unquote, raided. That Hillary Clinton, who there was never a belief that she had a second server. The idea wasn't that she was retaining those documents, but that they were gone forever because they were digital and they didn't physically exist anywhere. So raiding it would to find that they weren't there because they were emails is just dumb. Meanwhile, this asshole's favorite president was engaged in a criminal conspiracy to make his lawyer a criminal, to make his lawyer lie on his behalf. The 2 tiers of justice that exist is the total lack of recognition that the normal rules of engagement that most people operate in and that Biden and Hillary Clinton both did in this situation, and the absolute opposite, maddeningly, like, total disregard for any kind of quality of belief in the legal system at all on Trump's side, and this asshole running interference for them at every turn, for Trump at every turn.
If, in fact, Hillary Clinton's subpoenaed emails were destroyed, clearly consciously, they're accusing Donald Trump.
No, not clearly consciously, because the FBI director and the FBI said not clearly consciously. As a matter of fact, they did due diligence to turn stuff over, and the stuff that had classified stuff in it that they thought was just personal was buried in email chains. It was tacked on to other ones. They'd given the one that had the classified stuff on it, but they didn't realize it was attached to a chain of other documents because they'd already eliminated them.
Trump of asking somebody, requesting that somebody destroy something. He's
what?
Donald Trump of asking somebody, requesting that somebody destroy something. He's saying they destroyed nothing and that they handed over everything that was asked for.
What? So any mafia boss who is turned down by his hitman is no longer engaged in a crime.
He's saying they destroyed nothing and that they handed over everything that was asked for. I can't wait to get the real answer on that. I suspect.
Me neither.
They wouldn't be saying they had it and turned it over if they didn't.
Sean, I want to get your.
Wait. What?
They're accusing Donald Trump of asking somebody, requesting that somebody destroy.
No. They're not accusing him of anything. That's what they discovered in interviewing the people that physically tried to do it. And they have a witness who refused to engage in this criminal activity, who told the conversation that happened with the other 2 people who are accused in the case, co-conspirators with Donald Trump, and all their stories match up. And so his thing is that, well, if Trump told them to get rid of it and then they couldn't, I mean, is there any kind of crime going on here?
They're accusing Donald Trump of asking somebody, requesting that somebody destroy something. He's saying they destroyed nothing and that they handed over everything that was asked for.
Yeah, he's not saying he didn't ask them to destroy it, though. And his lawyer's saying he would have had the right to. Is he this stupid? Jesus Christ.
I can't wait to get the real answer on that.
Jeez, that's a real Paul Manafort. That's what our position is.
I suspect they wouldn't be saying they had it and turned it over if they didn't.
I suppose they wouldn't have turned the gun over if they'd been able to make it to the lake. How in the shit? Look at his fucking stupid. You really? Really? Consider what they are accusing Biden of doing. Biden says, "Hello, what's the weather like?" on a speakerphone phone call with his son to whoever he's hanging out with. Doesn't even know whether they're business associates, friends, wherever. They're just calling all times of the day. Whenever he's with somebody or he's around, he just puts them on speakerphone. It doesn't matter. I'm sure that Joe Biden, at some point in his life, has, without knowledge, said hello to a prostitute. I have no doubt, because he's going to go, yeah, I'm here. Tammy's here to say hi to Tammy. And Tammy's going, hi, how are you? Hey, how are you, Tammy? Hope you're having a good day. That, like, just, oh my God. This is proof that Joe Biden was engaged in human trafficking, right? That's where they're going. Just saying hi and asking how the weather is a criminal conspiracy when it comes to Joe Biden. But look at this dickhead. And all three of them. But Trump's not even denying he told Walt Nada to erase tapes. He's going, they're my tapes. I can erase them if I fucking want to. Jesus Christ.
Sean, I want to get your take on this. You remember.
Yeah, we're between the three of us, we have a running bet of who's got the dumbest take on this, and so far I'm winning, but I want to ask you, because maybe you can, be the dark horse in this.
A few weeks ago, everyone does. The Los Angeles Dodgers welcoming in the Sisterhood of Perpetual Indulgence.
Oh, what the shit? No. You don't get... What? That's where this section went. Like, I'm not gonna, like, look how much of this video is left. They tacked that shit on the end of, hey, Sean, while we have you here, can you shit on drag queens for us for a second? Fuck you. The hell does that have to do with anything? What? Well, again, this goes to, like, the Andy Biggs footage. Do you think if this was all a smoking gun and they caught him red-handed, they would dovetail from talking about the president's, conspiring to peddle influence to drag queens showing up at Dodger Stadium? God damn, they're like, our people are gonna lose any sense of interest in this shit.